Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome to part 6. If you watch part 5, you see that I have everything all disassembled. I got the arms in the back, the knuckles on the side, and I have your center bulkhead. So that's everything that I took apart in part 5. I'm going to slide this to the back. I'll pull out all the parts from the Fast Lane Machine wide kit, or the extended arm kit, and let's look at the parts, and we'll get to building the front end in this video. So let's slide this to the back, lay out some new paper towel. I'll start with the front shock tower. So here's the front shock tower. And here's all the hardware. So it looks like we have some upper shock cups or caps to protect them, and all its hardware. Push that off to the side, throw this out. Here are the upper arms. And it's 2 little set screws. So here is what the upper arm looks like. So we got the 2 uppers and the 2 lowers. So since it is extended in the front and the rear, we have longer control links or steering links. So here are the lower arms. And then it looks like we have a bunch of hardware to build the knuckles, or not the knuckles, but more of like the ball joint. In my last video I didn't know if we had to use the original Heim joints and stuff like that. It looks like for the uppers we might use the original Heim joints. And then for the lower, I think I had these upgraded. I think Team Fast Eddie makes these. It's all a one-piece design, but it looks like they might have also the same thing. But I'll show you guys closer when we start to build it. Alright, so that's everything laid out for the front kit. I'm going to start with the upper control arms first. Let's get those built. Alright, so here's everything laid out in front of us to build the upper arms. I have the newer arms, and then these are the older arms. It's just 1 bolt that holds in the Heim joints. So let's get these 2 bolts zipped out real quick and get them installed into the new upper arms. Alright, so I got everything all cleaned up, the bolts all cleaned. Off camera I was looking at it. It doesn't look like we have to use the original spacers that came out of the old arms. It looks like the Heim joint fits in there just as much as we did with the spacers. So right now I'm just going to leave them without any spacers, and I might have to adjust this, but we'll have to soon find out once I get everything all built. So a little bit of Loctite on the bolts, and then back into the Heim joints they go. Just like that. We'll do the same for the other side. Alright, so just like that, I got the Heim joints all installed. I put the set screws through these 2 holes to kind of lock the Heim joints from turning. But like that, they're all built. I'm going to hold off with the, like I said, with the washers. I might have to use them, I might not, but I won't know until the car's all put together. But I'm going to put the original A-arms and the washers off to the side. And I'm also going to put these off to the side, and let's build the lowers. Alright guys, so I got everything laid out for the lower control arms. So off camera it doesn't look like I can use the upgraded Team Fast Daddy lower balls. So I'm just going to put these arms off to the side. Alright, so I got you zoomed in. Now there are these 4 plastic rings, and they are kind of concaved a little bit. So you got to make sure they go in a correct way. So these ones are going to go down to the bottom, so the concave is facing up. The ball has to kind of fit like this in there, so the longer part goes to the upper side. So these go in like this, and then you want to make sure you also do the same thing. The concave goes down to encase the ball, and then it'll sit flush like that. Then it looks like the retaining ring goes on top and gets 3 screws. Let's do this one. Again, the flat part goes to the bottom, the concave faces the upper side, the ball then goes in, the flat spot faces the top to go around the ball, and then this one also gets its retaining ring, and then you have these 6 screws that are going to go around. So let's get those installed real quick. Alright, so with those 6 screws installed, that's what it looks like. The ball can move around freely. And you got the 6 screws that hold those top cups on. Just like the back, it looks like we have the nylon spacers again that just get pushed into the outside of the arm, or the inside of the arm rather. They just get pushed in just like that. And it looks like that's all it is to build the lower arms. I'm sure all the rest of these pieces are spacers for either the shocks or maybe spacers that go on top of the balls. But I won't know until I get the knuckles on there. But I'm going to end that right here for building the lower arms. Alright, so I got the cameras back zoomed out. This is what the arms look like, the lower arms with the balls installed. Here's the remaining hardware. I'm just going to push it off to the side. I'm not going to use their stock pillow balls that come with the kit. I'm going to put those off to the side. Alright, so here are the 2 front hubs. Like I said, the bearings were still good on them, so I'm going to reuse them. Alright, so I got the front hubs pulled out. They're pretty simple. All I do is just slide on to the pillow balls, and then the longest screw goes up through the bottom. Alright, so just like in the last video, you use a stock tool that comes with the Hpi Baja kit. Then you put the nut in like that and it'll hold it. But I like to just dab a little bit of Loctite up on the top before I put the nut on. And then the nut just sits on top like that. And this gets threaded in. That's how those bolts go up, and then they get captive with a lock nut on top. So that's what the bottom looks like. Let me grab the hardware out for the uppers and let's get that installed. Alright, so here's the hardware for the upper. You have these little plastic pieces with the little nylon lock nut in there that they just get pushed in to the knuckle, slide it through, and then we'll put the Loctite on so I don't get it in the heim joint. I have the upper and lower arms onto the front knuckles, and this is what it looks like. They're both attached. The front uppers, they don't get those plastic inserts like on the rear arms. I guess the hinge pins just go through, but this is what it looks like so far. Front shock towers, again, these will, the hinge pins go through them like so. Let's start with the bottom, or the lower hinge pins. So the bulkhead just gets pushed on like that. Same thing with the other side. It just gets pushed onto the lower bottom bulkhead. We'll line it up like that, and we'll get the lower hinge pins pushed on through. Alright, so before I put the upper control arms on, I'm going to actually get the front upper chassis plate installed. Again, it just slides in and gets two countersink bolts. They go into captive lock nuts, but I still like to just put a little bit of Loctite. Alright, so that's what that looks like. Again, just two bolts hold that upper chassis plate. We're going to grab our upper or our front shock towers, and these get just pushed into place like so. Again, they're probably not going to stay. A hinge pin goes through them, but I'm just trying to get everything lined up. And then the front control arm will sit like this. And then this is where the hinge pin will go through. Again, trying to line everything up. Alright, so that's what this looks like with the front hinge pins on. I do have to just flip it around and install the one little screw in the back. Alright, so that's what that looks like. I'm going to have to look for some of the spacers. They kind of went flying off when I disassembled it. I just have to order some, but it should be fine. I could just clip them on as I still build the kit or later on when I do get them. But this is what the front end looks like on the Baja, all put together. Alright, so in that last clip I left off, I totally finished the front end, but off camera I was messing around with it and I just wasn't getting the full motion of the arms, and it just felt like it was binding up and wasn't moving correctly. So I pulled out some of my old parts. On this side I have the old upper ball joint, and then down on this side I installed the lower ball that came with the kit. If I pick this up, you'll see what I'm talking about. This arm hangs a little bit lower because the upper ball joint allows it. This side won't let it go down further because the upper Heim joint is binding, but this side will go up higher than this side. This side, you know, I'm both pushing it up, but this side will only travel up so high, and then this side will travel up farther. The lower ball will allow this ball allows it to go up higher on this side. So I think in combination you have to use the stock lower ball or the ball that comes with the kit, and you have to use the stock upper ball joint that comes with the Baja, not these upgraded ones that I did with the Heims. And you can't use the upgraded Team Fast Eddie lower balls. So I'm gonna disassemble everything off camera. I'll reassemble everything. I'll pick up some clips of me disassembling it again, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. You see me disassemble it, you see me reinstall it all. I'm just going to fly through it off camera, and I'll catch back up with you guys.